Happy Wednesday, folks. Happy Wednesday. Back in the charts. And we have some movement, some big movement overnight. Starting to move outside of this week's range, but still inside of last week's range. And as always, we're going to go through everything in the charts together. Top-down analysis, starting on the weekly, all the way down into the 1 minute chart. Okay, so before we do that, as ever, make sure you're coming to the charts, to the screens with the right attitude today. All right, make sure you are feeling present, you are feeling well, fit and able mentally and physically to be trading. Okay, these are volatile markets. If you're not on your A game right now, it's going to teach you a nasty lesson. So if you've not slept enough, drunk enough, eaten enough, if you're on tilt from yesterday, anything like that, do not be clicking buttons this morning. Okay, be thankful for your health, for everything else that you have. The charts will be here tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next year, 10 years time. Nothing's going to change, right? So you're not missing anything. As always, starting on the higher time frames, all right? Weekly chart. We are still an inside bar on the week, all right? This is previous week high, previous week low, previous week close. So we're inside on the week. That previous week close is going to become a bit more important for me as we start to build out this liquidity. If we move down to a daily chart, you can see we've expanded the weekly range. Those that have done the course, there's your weekly range. We're currently underneath that weekly range. So we're paying close attention to that weekly range, aren't we? We're paying close attention to it for breakouts and failed breakouts. We have a gap down here. Here's yesterday's close. Here's the overnight open. All right. That's a big old gap down, like 200-300 points. And from that, we washed another 350 points down. Why did we wash? We washed on the NVIDIA news. So the NVIDIA news causing it, and then the increase in tariffs in China and so forth, and the more uncertainty. So yes, bearish overnight, but we have to respect what we're looking at here. If we think about this as a line chart, all right, just very simply, this is where we're now at, all right? This structure here is bullish structure. So we have to respect it, all right? It doesn't mean it can't go lower. It can absolutely go lower, but you have to be asking yourself, if we found sellers here, they became buyers, what does this become? This was an RBS, wasn't it? Resistance becomes support. We know this is a big level. Wicks. And this isn't a 1 minute chart. This is a daily chart. So it's big levels. All right. So if we continue to absorb in here, this is still setting up a potential daily flag to go higher. All right. I'm not saying it has to do it. I'm saying what's in front of me. So I want to be very careful if I'm going to think about trying to trade this wedge for a breakdown here, right? Because that's what we're in. You can see here, we've talked about it. Higher lows, technically on a daily, and lower highs, all right? This is trapping liquidity. Ever since this day here, when was this? Last Thursday, trap liquidity. Friday, trap liquidity. Monday, trap liquidity. Yesterday, trap liquidity. Today, we're still holding levels, all right? It's going to frustrate traders, but the range is starting to expand. We went from stuck into here, and now this is our range on the week currently. All right, so if we stay heavy versus these, possible expansion, possible fail breakout trades inside. We can see more of that in detail when we go down to the lower time frame. I want to remind you what we've done. Lower bowl, 20-day, 5-day, 20-day, 5-day, under 5-day coming back to support. This trade here is available only if it starts breaking down through higher time frame demand structure. Please respect the charts in front of you. Sentiment is bearish. Charts are not particularly bearish on the higher time frame yet. All right, hourlies. You can see here yesterday, we chopped most of the day, didn't we? We chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped, and then they waited, left point of control, and gapped us down. All right, so any buyer yesterday is now stuck up here. 100%, that's a given, absolutely for sure. They're stuck. We then started to move lower overnight on that news. I'm just going to take the volume off for a second. All right, we started to move lower on that news. Here you can see drift down, snap. Where do we snap into? Some of these key levels we talked about. Here's your RBS levels, sort of down here. So we're protecting in front of it for now. All right, we found a bid in front of it, and for a big drive up to where? To where the buyers were stuck. This is where buyers were stuck yesterday. You can see it's a big level. Resistance, support, resistance, support, support, resistance. Buyers are stuck above here. We gap down, test them. They are still stuck there. So current momentum is to the downside on an hourly chart, all right, because we've back tested. This swipe up is a clear back test. If we start breaking down underneath overnight lows, all right, we're going to drift lower into this higher time frame demand box. Remember, this is the RBS level. You have to be careful. The hardest thing today is going to be the new money short trade, and it's a probable trade today, but it's going to be very hard because we know there's higher time frame buyers down here. We know this reaction here is not a muted reaction from 500 up to 850. That is not a joke, folks, all right? 6, 7, 8, 350 points there. That is no joke. That is showing you it's a big, big level. All right, so be careful. Bias technically is to the downside based on lower time frame charts. But like we talked about, the daily has the ability to hold. The hourly has the ability to do this if it wants. My bias, though, would be for something like this, for it to prove itself and start to break down. And you're going to have to be patient here today. If it wants to swipe at the open, it will. I just want to go over this TPO here. All right, balanced range, balance range, balance range, balance range. All these guys, we're now opening, where's 600? Here. All right, underwater here. So any back test, if it would have given us the back test that it did overnight, that swipe up, we'd be looking for that short there. That's a very, very A+ easy short because we know people are stuck. It's already done that move overnight. The question is, can we join now for a rotation down, or is it going to show a willingness to move down, trap shorts in, and then come and back test? This is also possible today. Everything on the table today because we are inside so much range on weekly bars. Be very, very careful about your sizing today and how late you are into a trade. If you're looking for the short, be very, very careful. The location, the best location for the short was up here. All right, we can see it. This was old demand. This was a blue box yesterday. It's now red because we're underneath it. There's the back test of it. If we hold this, I'd be very careful, all right? If they swipe this, because then you've got liquidity. But right now, it is showing a willingness to drive down. Globex levels are going to be key today, all right? If we start breaking down underneath Globex, I think there's a bigger wash down into this demand box down here, all right, the daily block. If we get underneath Globex and do not show a willingness to auction lower, you need to be careful of this into here. If they reclaim this, they're going to go upside. They can also fail this and just trade between here. They're welcome to trade inside range today. You need to also think about the news. All right, we have news coming today. We have Powell talking later today. Let me just scroll up and see what the news is. 10 o'clock, business inventories, home builder confidence. 12 o'clock, Cleveland Fed President Hammock speaks. 1:30, Jerome Powell. I have no interest in trading this afternoon. None. Absolutely zero. Nothing into lunch. None. I do not want to be in a market which is giving 400-500 points volatility overnight when Powell is going to talk. All right. That sounds like absolute chaos to me. All right. So I want to try and make my money early if I can and then get out and away and enjoy my day. That's my game plan today. Having a look at the VIX. What do we do in the VIX? We found bids yesterday in front of 28s. We gapped all the way up to 33s. We then had a little gap down in this big swipe up, here. We actually gapped down on the VIX, fell all the way back down, tested its RBS level of 30.75s, found a bid, reclaimed the flow zones, reclaimed previous day high, and now it's going to try, by the looks of it, and do a gap fill. Up to 33.20s will be the gap fill. So if VIX continues to bid over 32.25, there is gap fill potential up to 33.20. If it keeps failing in that gap and starts to rotate downsides, then maybe we get just a rotational day in the market. We're going to have to wait and see. Let's think about the MAG. All of the MAG look the same, right? They're all gapping down. Apple, there's your PDC. There's your gap down. There's the overnight low, right? Gapping down on Apple. sub 200 again. These are big levels, folks. Microsoft gapping down as well, about $5 down. Amazon gapping down, about the same, $4 down. Google gapping down. Google getting very, very weak and getting hit here. People talking more and more and more about, are people going to use Google less because they're starting to use ChatGPT and Grok and things like that to ask the questions you would normally ask Google. So there is some narrative in that weakness in the market. Meta gapping down as well. Nvidia definitely gapping down. Absolutely shellapped. Look at that. Destroyed off that news, all right, about the chip not going to be allowed into China. And then Tesla gapping down. Holding PDL for now. So you can see sentiment is for a move lower today. All right, that's what they want to do. But again, we're going to respect the structure. We have to respect structure. Doesn't matter what the sentiment is. Our location and momentum is important. Momentum, fantastic to the downside. Location, not so good, is it, right now? If you think about this location, this is a W. We broke out from it. This is back testing it. This can go upside if it wants. So I don't really want to be engaging in a short here. I'd almost rather see it fail and stay heavy here, or push up and fail and come for the rotation. If they're going to find bids and they want to go upside, they can. If they want to get through this overnight high, if suddenly the narrative changes, if Trump comes and speaks and says something, they want to go for a gap fill, your gap fills all the way up here. All right, there's lots to play for today. There is a huge amount of range in this market. Size down, folks. Please, 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 please. Do not get confused. Yesterday, the range tightened 200, 300 points. We talked about it. Once we get outside that range, what do you get? Fast, expansive moves. That's what we got overnight. That's the market condition you are in this morning. All right. If this wants to do 100-point candles today, it can and it will. It's already shown you overnight. Here's an M1 candle off the overnight low from 550 to 735. Just shy of 200 points in a 1-minute candle. All right. Just bear that in mind. All right. Bear it in mind. The daily has a chance to still hold higher lows here. Please be very careful. If you are thinking about jumping in this short because of sentiment, you have to be understanding of what the higher time frame levels are at the moment. I'm going to be very, very cautious. If I'm going to think about a short today, I've got to really see that this market wants to take out key levels. Quite happy to sit on my hands. Had a great day yesterday. Do not need to force anything. Let's go through the good morning shout outs. Move this to this screen so I can see them quickly. Normal service clearly has resumed this week. Clint in the chat nice and early. Morning, Clint. Morning, Ramus. Logan, Miguel, Go for Hill, John Dennis, Marek, Julian, Jeff, Jacob Up One, Thumper, Brad D, Kaladin, TR, Paul, ERF, Trentry, Radar, Glenn, Ager, Mindful Matters, Coop, JJ, Jesse, Trey the MBD, Max, JD Florida Man, Aid, Andres, Minix, Juan Carlos, Christy, Ian, Brian, Peter Curry, Michael Pope, Leron, Camille, Raphael, Stephen C, Mr. Slim, Jeffrey, DJ Noah, Mike, Myron, Cat, Bay Trader. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all here, all the usual regular faces. Morning, AJ. Hey, the name got changed. Morning, Ironclad. Morning, morning, morning. All right, drifting back down here towards the Globex lows right now. Drifting down towards these Globex lows. Market definitely is heavy. Sentiment is heavy. All right, I'm looking. Ideally, I'd like some shorts, but really need it to set up, is what I'm saying. I do not want to short the lows. It's the one thing I don't want to do, because the lows are where we found bids overnight, and they are very, very near those daily levels, that daily open close. All right, basically 445 into 366, a big, big, big level on the daily. I want to be very, very careful there, but ideally I would like to take some shorts here if possible. If the market wants to get weak today, if the narrative is going to remain heavy, if they don't like these additional tariffs, if they don't like the issues coming on to Nvidia right now, not being able to sell into China, they might start to sell, but let's just see. You do not need to be in a rush at the open, folks. You've got a long day ahead of you. Yeah, it's the imbalance. The imbalance volume starting to come in. That's what it is. Just like the final 10 minutes of the day, they're starting to pile in on those imbalances. They would have got an early read on the market on open, MOO, and at the end of the day, you have MOC, which is why the first 10 minutes and leading right into that first 10 minutes gets very, very wonky. All right, so let's have a look here at the open. Here's the big drive up in front of that overnight low. We can mark out this New York open to start with. There we go. And driving back up towards that key area that we talked about and towards VWAP. Let's see. Tesla here, 2.5% down. Nvidia, 6%. Meta, 2.25% down. Google, 1.81% down. Amazon, 1.40% down. Microsoft, 1.25% down. Apple, 1% down. Look at the size of this candle to open the day. It's what I was talking about. Is it already a 100-point ripper almost here? From a low of 573 up to a high of 642. So just shy of a casual 100 points there. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to see here, folks. Completely normal. ES tapping into its VWAP there, finding some sellers. All right, and you just got to wait and let this shake out. See what the narrative is here. Do they want to really break down? Like we said, this is an area where we found bids overnight in and around here. You need to see these buyers become sellers if we're really going to move lower today, because it still has a shot to move higher. Look at the higher time frame. We're protecting this block. Look at the daily. All right, we're protecting the key levels we talked about. Let it shake out. You don't need to be first into this. Let everyone else get shaken out. Morning, Tom. We join if and when it starts to show weakness. It looks like it wants to drive back up towards VWAP here. QQQ doing the same. So far protecting the overnight lows as we start to drift up towards the VWAP. But there's lots of liquidity up here, folks. All right, it never washed any of these folks out. If it wants to take them, if it starts reclaiming VWAP, I'd be very, very cautious about a bigger squeeze upside here. Remember, the hourly, etc., has the chance to put in a higher low. The daily has a chance to put in a higher low. We are not in multi-time frame alignment yet. We're still inside the previous week range. We are still inside effectively a wedge on the daily that we talked about. That kind of flag, but it is a wedge. It's lower highs and higher lows right now. It's where lots of traders start to lose their minds when we see stuff like that. ES back to VWAP, SPY back to VWAP, QQQ and NQ a little shy of it right now, but not too far away. And they are holding up the demand structure. Those ETFs respecting the demand structure on the higher time frames we talked about. Starting to see some jostling for position and selling here. They're looking to sell in front of VWAP right now. I wonder if it gets up to VWAP and how we see this market respond there. ES already through it. Coming right back upside right now, ES. Trying to test its 5-day. Whipping around here in this market. Be very, very careful. Let this shake out. It's trying to reclaim some key levels. If it wants to go for gap fill, remember, it can. There's nothing stopping it. Yes, back under VWAP. So dancing around for position right now in this market. They start breaking overnight lows, you might get a bigger wash. But there's definitely, you need to be careful here. ES is trying to find a base underneath VWAP. They're trying to set enough buyers in so to get a bigger squeeze upside here. That's what it looks like to me anyway. If they fail, if they push and fail, they're going to go back down and maybe test towards the open and the overnight lows. But so far, it's what they're looking to do by the looks of it. VIX towards its lows right now. I'm wondering if it finds a bid here soon. Yes, back to VWAP again. I said you need to be careful here on the ES. If it keeps holding, you want to be very, very careful if you're thinking about any shorts here. If it keeps holding and building, you want to be very, very careful. It's not showing a willingness to move lower right now. You need to respect what you're seeing in front of you. If that changes, we start snapping the overnight lows, you can think about something else. NQ relative weakness. Qs can't get up to VWAP, relative weakness versus the ES right now. A move's coming here soon, folks, for sure. They're building too much liquidity here on the lower time frame at the open of the day. So just be patient. ES going back through VWAP now. They're looking for that drive higher. Do they find sellers just above it? Or do they let it through? Again, you have to respect the overnight levels. We found squeezes from this levels overnight, didn't we? Look at the levels we're at right now. This is a big level here, big level here. All right, this is where we know there was demand structure. If they find sellers here, we go back down. If they build liquidity here, we can go all the way back upside. We're thin, we're moving aggressively, and we're near high time frame levels without major alignment. The daily, the hourly, 15-minute, they are not all in agreement what they want to do right now. You are going to get jostling for position. I cannot say it enough. Here goes the ES. New high of day in the New York session on the ES, coming back up towards its 5-day. QQQ approaching its VWAP. NQ approaching its VWAP. Like I said, you want to be very careful thinking about shorts today. Very, very careful. Just because of the levels we're at. Momentum's been good, location not so good. Here goes ES. ES looks like it wants to come and take out a lot of that liquidity looking left. All this liquidity it built overnight between, I don't know, sort of 5 a.m. and 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Lots of stops up there. It can go and pop. The equivalent of here. This is what ES is looking to take out. All these guys. ES is currently sort of hovering up here. The equivalent. It can make a move like this if it wants. If it bases here, right, is not out the question. NQ to VWAP then. ES did just reject its 5-day. Not much liquidity on the book here either, folks. It's been like this for a couple of weeks now. Very, very, very thin. No passive players on the book. They're too scared to get involved in this market right now with passive. It's all market in, market out right now from the big players. A rejection of VWAP there. ES rejecting 5-day there. Plenty of time left, remember. You're only 8.5 minutes into the day. You've got plenty of time left to let this shake out and dictate what it wants to do. So continuation high here. ES is looking to take out that liquidity to the left that we talked about. Mag still all red. No one's looking to close that gap right now. They're still very, very red. Tesla 1.72% down. Nvidia 5.30% down. Meta 2% down. Google just shy of 2% down. Amazon 1.15% down. Microsoft 1.65% down. Apple 1.68% down. All right, they're still red. Again, can be a choppy day. Look at the last week's range. We're still inside the last week's range. Look at those daily candles where we found bids. We're protecting Thursday and Friday for now. Japan coming to negotiate on tariffs today. Trade fairness. Just reading those headlines now. VIX into one of its lower gaps. Let's see if it finds a bid here on an RBS or not. Some weakness here around the VWAP, but we're holding flow zones and we're dancing around the VWAP. We've still not cleared any liquidity to the upside yet in the market. Since the open, we've just drifted upside. That's all we've done. We've drifted upside over 100 points as well, 105 points currently since that open. If it wants to come and clear out some of this liquidity into like 715s all the way up to 764, it can do if it wants. If it wants to do a swipe up there. Always tricky when overnight have such beautiful moves. It's always tricky the next morning. Feels like it wants to come for these stops right now. Lots of liquidity up here it can clean up. Then once we clean some of these up, we have to see if we go back downside or if there's a appetite to get up into these. Letting it shake out. Yeah, still stuck underneath that 5-day. Tested it a few times. You got to imagine they want to go and wash at least some of these people out the market. Three more minutes or 2.5 more minutes until you get your orb set. VIX well into that gap now. How much farther can this market go? Can it go further upside and clean anyone out before moving lower? That's the question right now. Do we see that sort of move up to go lower? Trying to base on VWAP here. Or are they going to find sellers into this range? Definite jostle for position. You can feel it on the tape. The shake back and forwards, backwards, forwards, back and forwards right now. The time frames are not in alignment, but if this wants to squeeze, it can. Bigger sell volume starting to come in here. So far, they're still protecting everything. ES struggling to get through 5-day. Struggling at VWAP. NQ peaked VWAP a couple times, but no sufficient bids above that to drive further upside. No one getting washed out to the upside yet. Still pretty condensed here. No big candle here to like really show a shift. Maybe it's coming soon. Sorry, folks. Something in my throat last few days. Still think these can be low-hanging fruits, as can this down here. So need it to make a decision and then try and join once it's clear and obvious. Not in alignment. Lower time frame, higher time frame, not in alignment right now. VIX trying to find a bid here after sweeping a low on yesterday's IB. There we go. Market starting to see some selling coming in here. This is key now. Do they grab this long where they are in front of where we opened this morning or not, you know? Do they go for one more push, or are we going to start seeing some selling? Back down towards these New York lows now. We can start selling and give us a way of getting involved. I'm interested. I would have rather we swept out all the liquidity to the upside first. Don't really want to get involved inside the opening range here, which is all what we're in right now. Opening range of 106 points and 1 tick. We're about the midpoint or just below the midpoint of that opening range. Don't really want to be thinking about short here. Really want this to prove itself to me. Probably move this H1 down like this. This is probably more accurate right now based on those H1 candles. So that back down towards the New York Open here. And transition of the H1s here as well. You can see those old H1 highs. Do you get an RBS here? Do they try and hold it? Or do we start to see pops fail? That's the question right now. Remember, we're gapping down pretty significantly, 1.86% down. Weak here. ES coming back down towards low of day. They're going to go for Globex lows. We need pops to fail. We need to see drives up start to fail. It's not ideal thinking about a trade inside the opening range. It really is not what you want to see when it's left liquidity both sides. Drifting back down towards that New York print. ES having relative weakness here. Need a pop to fail. Need to see pops fail. I need to be like certain that there's sellers involved in this that actually want to go lower, because until then we're just inside the orb. Looking better here. Can we build out some form of bear flag here for a breakdown underneath New York and then get that move down here? Yes, right at low of day right now. Did it sweep it? It might have swept that. Maybe by a tick. I think it's coming here. I think we're about to get this breakdown here on this bear flag. Be very, very careful if you're thinking about this. Very, very sensitive area on multiple time frames here. Sensitive area. Can we develop out a bear flag for a breakdown? ES did just sweep low of day. So again, finding bids off that low of day on the ES. I mean, very, very careful here. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let it build out. DK, this is where I struggle. I have no idea how to read this when to get in shorts. We talked about this yesterday. You don't like shorts. You struggle with shorts, so you shouldn't even be looking for a short. If that's your weakness, why are you trying to play it? Play where you're strong. You don't need to trade every day. So why are you trying to play something that you've already just said, and you said it yesterday, you're not good at it. You just said it's your weakness. Why are you trying to play it? In a market which moves this much, you do not need to learn. That's incorrect. You need to focus on what you're good at. Too many traders get obsessed with needing to learn something else. Focus on what you're good at. If you're good at longs, 80% of the time, you're going to get what you want in the market. So sit out the times when you're not going to get what you want. All right, bear flag starting to build out here. That nice, look, we had that rebalance up and starting to fail. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Can we drive back down towards the lows? Beautiful. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. I would like to see us take out the New York Open and come back down to sort of the Asia and London low. Globex low. Lovely, 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 lovely. Come on, new low of day. Get through New York. Don't want to see you protect New York. Be very careful if ES starts to swipe up here after going through the lows. Here comes New York. Might pay myself a little bit here, moving my stop into the money. Just don't want to get caught in a swipe just in case something nasty happens. So protecting New York still there for now. We'd like them to break down through New York and take out Globex at this point. Failing to do so, I've already paid myself, failing to do so, but we want to see this kind of move here start to play out here. VIX starting to find a bid, which is also what we want to see, which is great. I want to be careful with ES right now. ES has swept low of day and is trying to find a bid. All right, so see money, take money until it proves otherwise, please. See money, take money until it proves otherwise in this market environment. You are still inside your opening range. I'm going to remind you that you are still inside Globex. You are still inside opening range. There is no secure trend here. If they want to defend this area where we know there is strong demand, they can. You need small size. You need to be nimble. You need to be patient. You need to pay yourself when it's there. There we go. Nice move. Can we get through New York now? Looking for a trade underneath New York. I'm already in this. I'm looking for a break of New York. Here's New York. Here's Globex coming. Fantastic. Fantastic. There we go. We had to wait for this bear flag. There's your sell signal. There's the pop to fail. Remember I said I want to see a pop fail. There's the breakdown underneath New York now. We're looking for a move down into here, 500s. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go, folks. All right, make sure you're paying yourself a little bit of money here, please, as we approach this orange box into Globex levels. On my Ninja Trader, we're actually into a key level here at 50, so I've already paid myself some money. Make sure you are paying yourself. See money, take money. Again, if they want to dive down and swipe it back up, they can. Remember, we have shown a propensity to hold this level. This was a big drive up. They needed to hold this, really, for bulls to take control. They failed to hold it, so now my bias is to come and take these guys here out. Can still hold runners here, folks. Looking for a trade all the way down into 500. To be specific, 504, I think, 504.25. That's where you want to get down to. There's another 50 points up for grabs here. If you're already in this, do not be adding late. Please do not. I don't want to hear anyone adding late. ES really starting to break down here. VIX starting to swipe up, about to go through its opening print into that New York gap. Here we go, folks. Come on. Let's get a dumperama for the team here. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Looking for 500s even, really. 18,500, that it will be my last covering point if we can get down there. In this orange box. Then below that, all right, if we're going to get below that, we're looking at 408s, 321s, and 274s. It's possible. It's possible, but we're going to respect these daily levels, all right? What I would say is as we approach 477 down to 377, I want to be risk off. I want to be tiny, tiny, tiny size if I've got a runner anywhere near that, because those are huge levels. Nice team, lovely, lovely work. Here we go. We're approaching those 500s and not too far away. Again, we want to see pops fail here. You don't really want to see this reclaim New York. All right, you want to see any drive up there just get slammed into. VIX into its gap. So any drive up into the New York range, into your opening range, 570s, 580s, you want to see sellers come back in. If you don't see sellers come back in, shouldn't really be you know, thinking about holding on too much, because you don't really want to be giving back, you know, the best part of 100 points up to that pivot of 635, do you? That's way too high in a market like this. You don't want to be risking that. You want to be locking in your money. Can we move lower here? Looking for that move down to 500. Like I said, want to move down to 500. Come on. Come on. Break this low. Snap these balls out of the market. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Break this low here. Break this low here. Come on. Get weak. Get weak. And we've got another 40 points in this for us. Looks very, very heavy here. I'd love to see how many traders were trying to play those longs today. Never, for me, it never set up. It had the location, but the momentum never came in for the long. Never, ever came in for the long. So anyone that was playing long, I think, was probably guessing a little bit, hoping for the squeeze. We're into that orange block. You can see the orange block. Make sure you are trimming some of your size here. Another day where we've made money out the gate early. All right, you might not be like it's out the gate, but, you know, we've made money in the first 25 minutes. That's pretty good going. You know, if you are up any sort of money near your daily goal in the opening 25 minutes, I think you've done very well. Minutes, I pressed buy there instead of sell, closed it straight away for a small loss. Hey, it happens. Call that a fat finger. Done it before many, many times. And you did the right thing in just closing it instantly. Miguel, missed my entry, clicked on something in NT and moved my chart back. No worries. No worries. Long day ahead. Long day ahead, folks. Don't stress about it. Okay. So some covering here. You can see some covering on the tape here. They're trying to defend 500. I do think we should get through those, but you might need some jostling for position. All right. You might get that. Remember, we don't move straight down. We move like this. All right, so it might need to do something like this. It might not come that far, might come this far, might come all the way up and trap. We don't know. But this is where it wants to go. Do not be getting short too late. Remember, I was short once I saw this pop and fail. All right, these were the shorts up here, not down here. This is where you need to be covering some position. We're far away right now from those flow zones. Remember, they're all the way up here. New York Open all the way up here. If this drive up gets sold into, we can think about that move down into the Globex lows. They start to reclaim the opening range in New York. I'd be very, very, very careful. So back to the orb here. New York coming up. Remember, if they squeeze violently through this, you want to be very, very, very careful. You should have taken most of your covers already. Like I said, we were covering into the lows here. If they sell these, we can get a move back down towards that Globex low. And they need to stay heavy versus these levels. If they don't stay heavy versus these levels, it will be a problem for follow through. So far, looking very, very good. You want to see a breaker structure here now. You want to see this break the lows. If you added back into that, you want to see this break the lows. You do not want to see them defend here. They will need to break the lows. Remember, if we don't get a breaker structure at the lows, that's where shorts get stuck. Right, so if you added in that pop into New York, into the opening range, you need to see this break down now. Do not let it reclaim New York and the opening range. You must see this breakdown for a new low and a drive back down towards Globex. It's as simple as that. Failure to do that, shorts will get stuck being late. Just remember that. Looking good here though, folks. You're looking very, very, very good to come and take out Globex. There's your break of structure. We're looking for that drive in towards the low 500s right now. Looking for ES to break structure here as well, ideally. So we can time everything out. VIX looking great, well into its gap. Come on, market, down you go. Covering a little bit more here. I want to see this just break aggressively. Come on, market. Come on, market. Come on, market, down you go. 30s now. Can we get to the 05s, 04s? Here we go, folks. Here we go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Remember, we talked about it. We move in waves. We move in waves. What's this? First pullback. What's this? Second pullback. Do we like pullbacks after that? Not really. Not unless it creates new structure. Here we go. All out there for me, folks. Covered right in front of that. Whew. Job done. Thanks very much. Called it beforehand. Told you exactly what I was looking for. Exactly how I was looking for it. Pops to fail. I wanted to see pops fail to know that we had sellers in this market. This can keep bleeding, but I've just made my daily goal there, so I'm just backing off right now. That's all I needed into Globex. That's all I was looking for into Globex. ERF, missed the first one, got the second one. Lovely, lovely work. Yeah, TR, exactly. I had a limit out right in front of that low. Wasn't trying to be greedy. I still think we can melt lower here. Look, this can keep going. If this wants to snap Globex, I'm telling you, this has got to move down into 410s, 324s, 277s. It's got to move down there if it wants to do it. I'm just being proactive today. I'm trying to respect the fact that we are near higher time frame demand. I'm trying not to get too greedy here. Why are we near higher time frame demand? We talked about it right at the open. Anyone that was in the pre-market show. This is an RBS. Resistance here, it became support last week, didn't it? I'm trying to be proactive covering into here because we're still in this. Right? If we start doing this move, fantastic. But I'm not going to bet on that. I'm going to trade what's right in front of me, right here, right now. Lots of you getting the W's there. Look, you're still good to hold this, folks. Like, I'm just being proactive. You are still good to hold runners here. Still good to hold runners here. There's nothing to say this is going to go upside right now. I'm just being very, very, very proactive. I do not mind entering back in. If we stay heavy under Globex, if we set up new levels under Globex, all right, if we show a willingness to break down under Globex and do something like this, I can always join back in, right? I'm just being proactive because we're only half an hour in. New 4-hour and hourly candle here as well. Right, so this hourly candle, does it reprice a little bit upside before breaking down? We have to wait and see. So here's the upside move. How far up does this new hour or 4-hour candle go? Did ES break Globex? No, it didn't. I'm going to mark this out as well, just so I've got everything marked out. I forgot to do that on ES this morning. All right, so Globex on ES, you're looking for a trade down to 5,339, basically. So again, you will need to see pops fail. If you're staying in this, you need to see pops fail. No reclaims. Let's see who made money with me this morning. Hopefully lots of you made money with me this morning. Drop me W's in chat. I'm going to scroll up. And I want to see everyone pounding this, hopefully. Let's have a little look-see. Logan, Vanderman, Paul, Peter, Max, Jesse M, Kaladin, Leron, Andrus. Thanks for that read, Alex. Was short from 18,675, covered 5, held 5. Got to go out now. Nice work, Aid. John Dennis, Vanderman with 2 wins. Brian with a nice W. Jeez, it's moving so quick, I can't catch up. Got my fat finger lost back with the W. Jeff with the W. Minix with the W. Jaken up 1. Go for Hill. Marek, Lee Kim, ERF, Paul, Kaladin, Max, Myron, Geordie, Jesse, Thumper, Kuralex, JD Florida Man, AJ, Coop, Mike. Look at this. I love it. Aga, Logan, Aid, Mr. Slim, Trey the MBD. First live with you. Hit buy instead of sell. Oh, sorry to hear that. You're the second one to say they did that today. Christy W. Priska, Jeffrey, Ash, 4K win on that. Lovely work, mate. Jeff, Trey the Trader, Matt Trader, Toby999. Lovely. Look at that. Just nothing but net this morning. I love it, guys. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, we just let this build out now, all right? We got very close to that liquidity level I was looking for. Trying not to be greedy just in case it wants to protect it. Like I said, we had a very strong reaction off here this morning. That's why. Look at the strong reaction. When we got here, we absolutely ripped. All right. 550. Let's just call it 750. So easy maths. 200 points in 1 minute. So this is why I'm being proactive. Just in case some institutions got some limit buys out here or market buys, because there's no limits really on the book. And they just absolutely send it, all right? That's why I was trying to cover in front today. That's why I was being proactive. I'm being a little bit cautionary. Still protecting. We are protecting the orb. We are protecting flow zones. We are protecting New York. Be very, very careful if they start to taper. All right, do not be adding into this. You've had, like we said, 1 pullback, 2 pullback. When we get to 3 and 4, it gets a little bit messy, all right? Let them sweep some people out and come back down if they want. We've had the easy money today, I'm telling you. Yes, there's a little liquidity left, but we've had the easy money trade. You will not find a nicer trade than that today, for now at least. Radar trades with the W. Yeah, honestly, I want to go back to DK. DK, do not focus. We talked about this yesterday. Do not focus on what you're not good at. It's absolutely fine to not be good at one thing. The fact that you already know that is amazing. It's so good that you know your stats and you know shorts are not your thing. You can practice those in time with small size and sim, but focus on what you're good at. You will make more money by cutting out trades you're not good at. All right. If you cut out the setups you're not good at and focus on the trades you're good at, you'll have less setups, but you will make more money because you will give away money to the market if you're taking trades that you know you frequently lose on. Really, really important that. Your edge, sounds like your edge is in longs. And then you've got to define what that setup is and focus on it. And as you develop over time, you can start adding more plays to your playbook. But there's plenty, all right? I'm talking about plenty of multi-millionaire traders who have very, very specific setups. They might wait, and I'm not saying you do this, but they might have 2, 3, 4, 5 trades a year, and that's it. They're waiting for exactly what they want, and they trade that and nothing else. They ignore the market the rest of the time. What you say is true. It's just frustrating. Well, flip that around. Just see it the other way. Look at this today and be like, I would have lost X amount today, and I'm really proud of myself. You need to talk kind to yourself. I'm really proud of myself that I didn't take a trade that I know I'm not good at. All right? Flip that mentality around from frustration to like, be proud of yourself. Do you know how many traders don't know what setups they're good at? I reckon 90% of people that click buttons don't even have a setup. They just click and hope. You already know what you're not good at, which means you also know what you are good at. All right? So just give yourself a bit of a pat on the back. Okay, we're starting to see a reaction here, folks, from this level, aren't we? This is where we found buyers overnight. So they're sweeping this first level. We're trading into New York right now. If they want to come all the way up here, they can. If they want to get through this, they can. You should not be focusing on shorts now. We're starting to reclaim. The momentum now has started to move upside. The shorts will set up if you see something like this again, all right? But right now, you're trading back inside that opening range, back to the deep pullback flow zones. Let the momentum... Oh, I've just moved Ninja Trader charts around there accidentally. Let the momentum come back into the short side if you're looking for a continuation lower. Alibaba long at 510. Nice. See, Alibaba knows reversals are their game. 510 took the longs off that. You've already got almost, 90 points out of that move. All right, not a trade I would take, but that's Alibaba's trade. That's fine. For me, it's a very, very high risk trade, taking anything from here. You don't know how far it's going to go. But if that's your setup, like I said, everyone has their own setups. You do not have to trade the same way as me. This is just how I teach. This is my methodology. This is how I've learnt to trade and develop a system over years and years and years and years and years. And it offers me trades most of the time in the market with high success rate. All right, reclaiming New York, trying to reclaim VWAP here. Need to let this shake out. VIX finding a sell. Filled the gap, found some sells at 32s. Market dampening down a bit. Looking at the book here, not much on this book now. Definitely seeing a little bit more buying come in short term for now. And we're just watching the ETFs to see if they reject these kind of pivots, especially the SPY. SPY broke down from 3150s kind of level today. So does it reject that? Maybe all the way up to VWAP 3220s. Right, if it stays heavy under there, maybe it makes a new leg down on a 5-minute. Julian, you took the long as well. There you go. So Julian took a reversal long by the looks of it. SPY finding some sellers there at that pivot we just talked about. Can trade a bit further up if it wants to. Morning, Brandon. Yeah, that's fine, Ali. Like each to their own, right? Each person to their own. You know, I don't like reversals personally because I used to take those all the time, and I know if I get in the habit of looking for reversals, how should I put this? I increase the chance of me starting to add into a loser. All right, I know that from small cap days, I increase that chance. I want to take that away. It's why I developed flow zone system. Exactly why. But again, each to their own. All right, pricing the H1, H4 back up now. We talked about this, didn't we? Always high time frame. Always high time frame. Here's your H1. Fail down to where? Big level here. Big S level. This is a support level. What are we doing in this current H1 chart? In this bar, we're pricing back up to the upside. Can it find failures here? Absolutely. If it wants to, it can do this. If we get clean setup down here, it can do this. It can also do a failure to break. And it can also come all the way back up here and use this liquidity if it wants to as well. Like I said, everything is possible today. If you're wondering why I'm saying this, look at the daily charts, look at the weekly charts. They are not in alignment right now. Weekly, daily, H4, H1, M15, M5 are not all in alignment. They're not all in alignment. Phenom, know thyself. Alibaba, you are right. Yeah. I'm right for me. Maybe it's the same thing for you. It's very, very common. People who pick reversals, they tend to add to losers because you just think, oh, it would just pop through and it'll come back down and add a bit more and add a bit more and add a bit more. And suddenly you're oversized and you've moved your stop. And that's when the propensity to go full tilt will start to happen. Julian, I'm definitely liking following the trend more with you. I just didn't want to chase the short today. It's all right. It's all right. Starting to get stuck here at the deep pullback flow zones. These are big levels. This is a pivot. I don't want to move that. Where's my drawing tool? Come on. Like I say, let me draw for the team. Where's my drawing tool? All right. So here's the move this morning. Short. Short. Cover. Push up. If they hold this, they can go upside. If they also have the chance to hold this, but this can be a trap high if it wants. All right. If they're just going to get above here to go back down lower, remember they left liquidity here. They can also do that. These are the big levels. This candle here, this New York open, this is higher time frame demand, this blue box. All right. So do they reject this to go lower? Like we talked about on the SPY was key for me here. Watching the SPY, look at a 5-minute chart in SPY. Look how it's rejecting 431s. It's rejecting this support structure here. All right, so SPY has done this move and it's rejecting this here. So maybe SPY wants to roll. Remember, we left liquidity here. If the next pullback holds and they get a break of structure, I wouldn't be thinking about shorts because at that point you're going to go higher and then you're either thinking 2-leg pullback or you're thinking about build liquidity and squeeze. These are tricky conditions, folks. I'm not going to say they're not tricky. They are tricky conditions. Drifting back down here. SPY definitely found sellers there. VIX trying to find a bid for a higher low on a 5-minute chart here right now. It's tricky. So back towards the Globex levels. Decision time for the market, I would say. Either high or low gets put in here for a drive back upside and a squeeze, or they start to rotate and let this go, and we go back for Globex. I'd say the SPY is looking very, very clean. If the next drive up starts to fail, if they pop this and they start to sell into it up here, it's probable we get down here. If they start to reclaim everything, then the chances the high-low. This is why it's got to make its mind up. Either this high-low, higher-high, or they fail here and they rotate. So far, it's failing, isn't it? ES looking very, very weak. Trading back down towards low of day here. These are big levels, even psychological levels. Ramus, 3 trades on the new Flowzone Pro. All winners. Marvelous tool. Hey, I love it. Yeah, the new Flowzone Pro launched for students. It would be available for everyone else soon. Don't stress, everyone. It will be available soon. It will be a subscription model or a higher one-time fee for life. So you have to see now, do they build out to that bear flag here to rotate down, or do they force the squeeze back up on high-low? It is, like I said, it is decision time here for the market. It will need to make a decision here in terms of what we're doing for narrative. Are we going back down towards Globex, or are they going to look for that higher low here? ES protecting low of day for now. My gut says we are going to drift lower here. My gut's saying we're going to go for Globex. It's just how much of a shakeout does it need to get there? Yeah, this is VWAP up here. Sorry, folks, if I missed that question. Battlegrounds here. For sure, battlegrounds here. In terms of lower time frame traders, battlegrounds here. VIX looking good. Reclaiming PDH. Can it start driving upside? If VIX fills this gap, gets through 32, goes to 32.50s, I think we get downside pressure on this market. Pops start to fail here, we're going to get downside pressure on this market. Here it comes. ES looks a little bit weaker here than the Qs. I'm wondering, can we get down towards Globex? And then how do we react once we get there? I'd be interested if we take Globex, how we react after that point. We'll be interested if we do that. If we keep catching a bid here, it has a potential squeeze, but I'm just looking at the ES and SPY. I'd say there's more chance we're going to Globex right now. $530s here. What's the low of day on the ES? 346. 350s now, and Globex low 340s basically. I think it's trying to get down there. Like we know, this is where buyers came in overnight. Chop zone here while it makes up its mind. Like I said, decision time here. Around here, big decision moment. I would say low of day feels more probable, but if they want to catch this and go, they can. This is where they caught it earlier. If they give up the ghost here, we're going to go Globex and we're going to go fast. Here we go, giving up the ghost a little bit. Can we get down? Here we go. They're giving it up. Can we get through this block here? If we start to break down through this, I think you get this move here. So if you took this trap, I didn't take it, but if you took any of these traps, I think you're going to get this move here. Just make sure you're paying yourself a bit of money. If you did take that, you have to respect this here. Rejected deep pullbacks, rolled back under. You'd really rather it build something out here to get that move. I mean, that's one pop, but you'd rather build out a bit of structure to get that move. Again, be very careful if you're going to take this because you are shorting near low of day. Location not ideal. Momentum half decent. Location not ideal. That's, again, why I haven't taken it. Give up the ghost. It just means like, just give up. It's just a saying. Just give up on holding the bid. It will not be part of the course in Discord. No, the flow zone one won't for Ninja Trader, sorry. Does it have a Trump indicator? It prints an orange line. Does that count? Raphael took it from 600 to 540, 2K in profit. Thanks, Alex. Nice work. You want to see if they build out this liquidity here to go lower? I would say if they build out a shelf here, like a little right shoulder to go lower, then you got a chance. Again, I don't like the positioning of this. I really don't like where they're dangling this, but this move here to here feels possible. The thing that I don't like, the reason I don't like it is this is where we found that big bid. It's a little bit scary to be thinking about a short here. So location-wise is not ideal. If they get back above here, I'd say all shorts are off for the rest of the morning session. Back towards the orb then, back towards New York. Do they hold this now? Are they going to force that squeeze up? Did a lot of shorts pile in there looking for their breakdown to Globex and it's protecting it? It's possible. Like I said, I'm not in it because I don't like the location. I do not like that location. And we had, what did we talk about earlier? First pullback, short. Second pullback, short. Do we like third and fourths? No, not really. For this reason. For this reason. So technically, this is holding this low here. You would have preferred it to hold this if you were a bull, but it's holding this low. If they get a break of structure here, it has the squeeze potential. It's what you're building out right now. Pretty bit of a choppy session since that opening drive, and we caught some. What's the range from the high to the low currently? 170 points. I mean, it's a bit more normal, dare I say it. It's a bit more normal, isn't it? Rather than these 400 point initial balances. We've got 8 minutes left until the orb. We're starting to reprice here. It's starting to reclaim the orb. Maybe shorts got stuck down there. It's the only reason I didn't take it is the location, not ideal. They did produce a higher low there across all indexes. Change of character, higher low. This will get confirmed by a break of structure here. They had the chance to use this as a trap. This has gone too high up to use as a trap, in my opinion. Do not like this to the short side now. Even if it breaks down, it can do it without me. I do not like the location here. Too many people getting involved in this area today. Remember, most of the time spent today now is here. Most of the volume spent today right now, let me put my SVP back on so I can see it, is here. All right. So if we reclaim point of control, upside move. Most of the time here, we reclaim that squeeze move potential. Flipping bias back and forwards a little bit here, but I'm not taking anything with it. I'm just narrating what I'm seeing. I'm trying to remain flexible. The one thing we said in Discord this morning, if you're gonna, and I said it on here, if you're gonna be short today, you've got to be careful in the location. Just based on the daily, it can hold a higher low here on the daily. We talked about it numerous times. Normal, what's that? Yeah, I know. Or at least it's not like 500 points, but the range overnight is. I mean, we're still 375 points down on the day. 2% down on the NQ. That's a normal down day. Obviously, if we go expansion underneath Globex, that's going to increase drastically. Do I have the NT8 subscription or lifetime in order to use flow zones? I'm going to, Lindo, I will have both. They're just not all set up yet. But in the next week, I'm working as fast as I can here, guys. I've got guys working on the algo right now. I'm developing the new website right now. I've got to record all the new videos for you right now. I'm going to do a new free course for people who haven't done the course, and then I've got to put it all on the website. And then Brad D, that you might see in chat, has got to help me do all the back end on it. Lots and lots and lots to do. I'm working as fast as I can, folks. But if you've already done the course and you're in the Discord, you'll get priority on stuff before I do hard launches. I always do soft launches to students at discounted price. Always, always, always do that. I've decided I will do a small Easter sale for the course because I did do Easter early this year. So I'll do the same deal again. What's the Easter date this year? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do the Easter sale. I'll launch it. When's it? Sunday the 20th. I'll launch it tomorrow and it will end Monday. And I'll do the same sale that we had last time, whatever that was for the course. I'll do the same sale for it. It'll be a short sale. No, I'm saying, do I have to have the NT8 subscription or lifetime for me to use it? I don't understand. I don't actually understand the question, Lyndall. Sorry. You have to use NinjaTrader to be able to use it. Otherwise, it's pointless, right? So squeezing back upside here. Do they come and clean up all this liquidity now? Back to view up here on the Qs. Remember, there is liquidity. All these guys are currently in the money. No one's been run out yet. Just remember all the time, lower highs and lower lows. Here's our W. If they start to pivot, they can come and try and get through here and then get through some of these guys here if they really want to. There is your 2-leg pullback so far. 1, 2. I need to fill the overnight gap, I guess, longed at 530 again. Fill the overnight gap. Mate, that's very, very ambitious right now. It's not out of the question, but that's all the way up here, 960. You're looking for a 360-point move. It's pretty ambitious. I'm not saying it can't do it. Gaps love to get filled. It's possible, but yeah, maybe for power TR. That's an ambitious move right now in this market, given what we're looking at. Yeah, I'd say maybe maybe respect the H1 structure in front of you and make sure you're locking in some profits first, because we still have not taken low-hanging fruit here. So if this wants to do this and get down here, it will. And if you haven't taken any profit in that move, hoping for 960, you'll be a little bit upset. So at least take some profit when it starts moving your direction into key levels like this. We just swept this guy here. So this short seller here just got taken out into VWAP. If it can't base here, it needs to do something like this for you to have continuation. If it comes back under this range, underneath New York, I'd be very, very cautious. There you go, Trey. If Jay Powell makes a miracle, I mean, I can't imagine what he's going to say that's going to help this market right now. You know, what's he going to say? I don't think he particularly likes Trump. VIX approaching lower day here, by the way, folks. I don't think he particularly likes Trump, and I don't think Trump likes him. Trump's looking to get him removed. Why? Trump's crashing the market, right, to try and force the Fed into lowering, like doing at least 2 basis point cuts, and soon, because that will basically allow the market to drift upside, and then that means he can say, hey, I saved the market. Powell's not willing to do that. And also, if you saw any of those tweets last night from Trump saying, you know, inflation's coming down, hey, any data we've had so far is prior to tariffs. So that's bullshit. And the Fed will know that, and they will base every decision off inflation data once we get it based on tariffs. Like we saw last week and the week before, PPI, CPI came in cool. No one cared because it's not including tariffs, right? So when we're looking at macro news, we need to be forward thinking. If that data comes in and it's old data, it's irrelevant at that point, because from a macro point of view, we've completely changed our stance. Inflation's likely to tick up. They're anticipating 3% and upwards right now, which is an uptick inflation, which is going to make it impossible for the Fed to cut. So they're going to battle those two, I think. I think it'd be, you know, I'm impartial because I'm British, but it'd be fun to sort of watch Watch them battle it out and see what happens. DK, 2 minutes till crude oil inventory news. Thank you, DK. Yeah, 15 seconds, I guess, for that. And what else do we have? We have some other things coming. Home builder confidence index as well, and business inventories. Just watching the spiders here, watching ES, watching everything to see if they try and produce that higher low here. Remember that orb is now set, opening range, and it's hard to see yet, but there's a pink or purple and purple, and this is your high and this is your low of the session. This is a 2-leg pullback. They need to hold these levels for upside moves. Failure to do that and get under here means we will use this liquidity to come back downside for this. Everything to play for here. I'm going to remind you right now, have a breather and think about where we are in the market. We are inside IB. We are inside orb. We are inside previous week. We're outside current week and dailies, but we're inside previous week. So still rotational market until it proves otherwise, right? Not in a pro-trending market yet. A 24 contract M&Q win. Cladding, that's some pretty big size, mate, in this market. What account size are you on? I guess if you're on 150k or more, then you're all right. But it's fairly significant size in a market which might expand. So still holding flow zones. We're still underneath that lower time frame algo and VWAP for now, though. You wanted to change your size from 2 to 4 M&Q and ended up with 24. Ouch. Well, at least it was a winner, eh? I don't think I've ever heard you speak about Tick Trade It. Are they new? No, they're old. Been around for a long time. Based in the UK. They're still good. They have a sale on right now. I prefer... They're really good and they pay out, but I prefer Tradeify. But they do have a sale on right now at Tick. Hit my daily target and closed quick. Don't blame me there. All right, so still a chance to build out this flag to go higher right now. It's trying to reclaim this blue level. Remember this blue level, big key level here. We dumped under it. We have found buyers down here, like we said. Come all the way back down there, all the way back, retrace, found buyers in the same region, coming back upside now. If they can hold this, there's a move up here. If they can't hold it, we go and revisit. I think the next time we revisit, if we revisit here, it's going to be a problem for this market. All right, if we revisit there, because what you're really going to have is this. If we revisit down here or we get under, this is opening up. So they need to defend this, the bulls, for that drift higher. They need to defend really these levels here. They need to be defending these for that drift higher. Failure under here. If I was a short seller, I'd start getting more aggressive. And if I was a buyer, I'd start being a little bit concerned of why are we not taking out liquidity upside. If I was a buyer, I'm not a buyer. Hey, Foster Scott, good to have you back, mate. Hope you're good. Hope you're in good health, my friend. Currently starting to convert these. Here's your low time frame algo. These will be better when we get up and above here for that squeeze. You probably notice I've backed right off. Again, made my money in those shorts. Now just waiting. Waiting. But it is starting to develop this right now. We'll need to hold this for that move up. Failure to do so, you want to be very careful. Anything under here, those longs are gone. All right, if we break under, retest, stay heavy, we're coming back down. There is potential for that squeeze up today. Now that we've failed to take out Globex, there's potential for it. It doesn't mean it happens. There's potential for it. I'm going to check in here. How many of you are watching? Oh my God. Over 100 of you have not hit the like button. 2 absolute bangers on stream this morning and over 100 without the like button. Oh dear. That's it for me today, folks. And just kidding. But do me a favor, smash that like button for me, all right? Smash that like button. Yes, drifting back towards VWAP. SPY starting to try and reclaim the VWAP here. These are sensitive areas here. The market will need to make a decision. Glenn, mate, I'm out. Good luck to the Gooners today. Yeah, I'll be watching that. Let's get the job done in Real Madrid. 3 up. Hopefully we get the job done. As long as we play some decent football and don't get complacent like PSG almost did last night. What a game that was. So slowly drifting upside here. The lower time frame buyers trying to take a little bit of control here by the looks of it. ES approaching its VWAP. Spiders at their VWAP or just above it. QQQ above the VWAP. Like I said, they can come and take out IBH and they can come and squeeze higher if they can do that. There's lots of liquidity here to take out if they can do that move. But so far, we are still just inside. Everything's inside range. Oh, it's a see money, take money environment right now, not in a pro trend environment. I am a gooner, yes. I'm a gooner. Rejection of VWAP there, back down. We're in a little bit of a range here. I'd say the last 5-10 minutes. This is key. I keep talking about it. This. These are the options. This is what it's building out. This can be used to go lower if they cannot get the squeeze out that they're looking for. Very, very sensitive areas. I'm not looking to engage here. I will wait for it to show me something now, if at all. Absolutely nailed what I wanted this morning already. Not in a rush here. Trentry, I took a W today. I leave trading alone now. There you go. Good discipline. Alibaba just smashed it. Thank you very much, guys. Everyone hitting that like button. Thank you, ladies and gents. Do I want to know what a gooner means? Oh, it just means I support Arsenal Football Club. We're called the Gunners and we called ourselves Gooners. It's a soccer team back in London, where I'm from. That's all it is, DK. Nothing rude, nothing bad. Oh, really? Is it bad? Oh, I don't want to look that up then. Exactly, Bowden. We were raised right. Exactly. We wear red. Not like the other side of my family. I'm not even going to say who they support. Scumbags. So me and my cousins all wear red. The other side, well, they support the wrong side of London. They wear white. Terrible. Beach Boy, you're a Liverpool fan. Glenn in chat is a Liverpool fan as well. You guys look good, don't you, right now for the league? It's done and dusted, and good to see you made Salah re-sign. I thought he was going to be gone. Exactly, Bowden. All right, drifting back down here. Like, the bulls have got to take control here if they want that upside move. If they don't, there is a chance for us to still head for Globex. The bulls will need to start stepping in soon here. Otherwise, there is a chance for the bears to take control. The bulls need to create the higher low here and this flag to drive upside towards that IB high. Oh, Caladin. Oh, dear. You have had a rotten few years. I don't see it getting any better either. Phenom, I would be way up if it wasn't for the terrible overnight trade that I took. Lesson learned. What did you get wrong overnight? I thought overnight looked kind of nice to me. I thought it looked pretty good. I was very tempted to look for a short here in these. I felt like on that Nvidia news, we'd at least take this out. So I was looking for that rotation there and then the runner down to there. And that point there, obviously, is no more shorts. It's a double bottom. And we rip back up off a daily level. But yeah, I liked these shorts here overnight. I didn't take anything, but I was eyeing it up. But I was just like, if I take this, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to end up doing an all-nighter and sitting here. And I don't want to do that. I want to feel fresh for stream. You took the short aid, yeah. I thought the short, it looked really good. I wouldn't have taken that long. I think anyone that caught that long was lucky. Tried jumping on the sell-off, looking for a continuation. It bounced back and stopped me out while I was sleeping. Was only a 1-1. Oh, it's not too bad. Where did you jump in then, mate? Around here? Were you late then if it bounced back on you? Were you late here and then got washed out on that pump? So these look good. That's nice. Retrace back in, flags. These look good where there's clear levels to aim for. Anything beyond here is probably not a nice short. I mean, it melted, but like these up here are good RR because you've got liquidity to aim for and you can hold runners. From this point here, there's nothing to aim for, and that's why they get squeezed. We always like a liquidity level to aim for, so no different to this morning. We waited because we weren't sure here. I mean, this, if it caught everyone, it had the chance to aim for this liquidity, but once it's sold, there's a kill candle. Right, once we sold, boom. There's the kill candle, boom. Leaving an imbalance, boom. Who's trapped up here? Buyers. Then we look for a sell. Where do we look down to? Low of day, Globex. All right, clear liquidity to aim for. Now where's the liquidity it can aim for? Well, it's trying to come and take out these highs, and if it can run these short stops, they would get forced to cover. It will try and get to these highs, and so forth, right? So always make sure you've got a level to aim for. You need that magnet. You need something in the chart to be drawing the chart towards it. Yeah, overnight, it's always hard. If you can't sit there and manage it, I always struggle with that. We're starting to build that bigger inverse head and shoulder look here. I'm starting to think more like this is presenting more and more of a chance of a squeeze up here. There's your pivot. It held this now. So if you're in this long, you should be looking to take out current high of day and IB high. If it's going to prove itself for continuation, you're looking to take out 712, 725, 730, let's call it, 763, 783. Previous day low here, we're also going to respect 800s, and if it really got going, you could take out that overnight high and then you're into the gap. But that's what you can look for. Look at this. That was a nasty jump, wasn't it? Don't know if you just caught that on stream. So IB high coming here. That squeeze looks good now. This is its first target. So if you're in this, this is your TP1 right here. Definitely not looking for shorts at this point. Protected the low. Remember, the short would have been this. Back down here. Never did it. It held. So respect this. Momentum now is upside. Drawn liquidity, upside, all the way up here. We talked about this. This was an iffy area. It had to make a decision there. Missed your buy limit by one tick. It's so annoying when that happens, ERF. I think it's probably before you joined stream the last few weeks, there are numerous times where I could not get filled, where it would miss me by tiny amounts. And even on what was more annoying is like sometimes I'd have limit orders in M and Q, and I'd be watching the NQ, and NQ would get there and M and Q wouldn't get there, and I'd be pulling my hair out. It's still inside of IB. You are still inside of your orb. Just as a reminder, you're still inside of the orb. It's drifting higher. If you're in this from here, you look good. All right, make sure you pay yourself a bit into this move and then run us for expansion. You got lots of liquidity there on the H1 it can aim for. Lots and lots and lots. You will need to get through 680 with conviction. All right, you need to, if you're looking for further upside, it needs to do this. It can be failed auction. It can be something like this. Right, just be careful. Again, I'm not in this long, and I'm definitely not in it short. Remember, headline news will move the market. We actually have a bit of a player on the tape now for the first time. Came on about 5 minutes ago. Got a 200 lot down there sitting around 587s right now. First player I've seen on the tape for a couple of days. When I say player, I'm talking about someone who's got more than 10 contracts on, right? VIX back down to PDC. VIX has just closed its gap here, folks. Just be aware of that. I'm just going to get a refill on my coffee. We don't know, DK, we don't know if it's a spoof order until we get there. Yeah, so if we approach there and he moves it, then we know. But if he stays on the book and gets filled, I'll see him get filled. All right, thanks for your patience there, folks. Needed a bit of a refill on the coffee. All right, looks like we're doing that VWAP dance at the moment. Scott Sullivan, no, I use Bookmap. And by the way, I don't think this order is spoofing. He's just moved up from 587s to 620s now, 200 lot there. Let's see if he gets filmed down here into 620s. He's passive on the book, 207 lot just sat there right now. I want to see if he supports this bid, but he's moved up to try and get filled. We're very close to filling him right now. Bookmap. You'll need CME data. You can use Bookmap. So it's a visual representation of the level 2 or the DOM. I like it because what you will struggle with on the DOM, A, is to see the size, and B, you will struggle to remember if there was size on and size off, right? If someone has moved their order, like I can see people who are passively moving their limit orders up, very, very useful. I know that they're trying to support the bid right now. When I'm looking down here, that's what I'm looking at. Still there on the tape. He's not moved. Oh, sorry, Foster, I didn't see you even ask that question. Yes, Sati volume. For the volume. So yeah, pulled there again, moved back down to 600. So it looks like there's a bit of spoofing going on here. That 200 lot. Yes, back to VWAP here. All right, whole market needs to hold these. We said if these start to fail, this is where this rotation becomes more probable. All the time they're holding these levels, it has that chance to try and take this liquidity out. If they fail these buyers up here get stuck, we use them to get down towards Globex lows. Still inside. You're still inside initial balance. You are not in a trending day. You know you're not in a trending day because we are inside initial balance. We are outside on the daily, so it has the chance to trend on a daily, but we're probably so far outside on that gap down on the daily that it doesn't really want to expand lower right now. We're still making high highs and high lows. This is still bullish inside. Here's your change of character. Think about this morning. Failures here. First pullback, second pullback, change of character, bullish, bullish. This can still be bullish here until we get underneath this, and then it can be bearish down to there. Potentially, it can also just chop. It can also do this all day because we're inside the IB. IB rules apply. We're inside initial balance. We're rejecting VWAP right now. Let's just do something which I haven't done today. Let's get an anchor on from the New York Open. And let's do one other thing. Right at that anchor view up off the high right now. Yeah, still high lows, still bullish. Structure still bullish. Still bullish up here. High time frame, still bearish. Still not in alignment right now. Remember, the nicest trades are when you have pro-trend alignment. Letting this build out the liquidity. You can see we've slowed down a bit now. Market taking a bit of a breather as we approach that new hour. Fairly balanced again. Profile right now, fairly tight, fairly balanced. It's a shame we can't get that. You know, I'd love to see a drive back up to test sort of 880, 900, not saying today, but I think something like that offers a better short, and then a reclaim of that will offer a better long back up. So the levels I'm really interested in all the way up here now for the rest of the week, unless we're going to show real weakness and drive lower, and then we can rethink maybe sub 440s. Quick look at the mag. Let's see where we're at with the mag. Tesla 1.80% down. Nvidia 6.83% down. Meta 2.25% down. Google 1% down. Amazon 1.16% down. Microsoft 1.80% down. Apple 2.15% down. Still under that 200 mark on Apple at psychological level. QQQ trading back into its VWAP on the ETF. SPY doing the same thing. We're balanced at VWAPs on the ETF right now. Yeah, Friday. Markets are closed on Friday. You're right. Bank holiday. So I only got tomorrow to trade. It's welcome. I welcome that. I welcome some time off. Any additional days off right now are very welcome in this market. And the VIX still just bouncing between IBL and PDC right now. A little bit of weakness coming into this market. They're gonna, like I said, the bulls are going to need to hold bids here if they're going to look for that upside rotation to the IB high. If they cannot do that, then there's a chance that these bulls get stuck in this market today and we go back towards that Globex low. But we've already put in a double bottom down that, but just have to let this set up and see. Yeah, exactly, Coop. That's exactly how I feel. Earnings have already started, DK. We've had bank earnings this week already. We are into earnings season. But if you're talking about big tech, yes, I'm sure they will be next week. We can have a look at earning whispers. Bye, darling. Loves ya. Why has my date gone on earning whispers? What is going on? Thursday. So tomorrow you have got Netflix. Let's go to next week. Not much Monday. Tuesday. Starting to see that sell pressure come in here. Yeah, all the big ones going to start next week. Starting to see that sell pressure coming here again. Chance for a liquidity sweep will be at 96 or sort of 600s and a hold. If they keep failing though, you want to watch out. If they keep failing, they can go back down toward Globex. Be very, very nasty, but they can do sort of a liquidity sweep of this and go back upside. Still a big level here, isn't it? Big level. They get stuck under here. This becomes an opportunity for shorts to retake control. So far, finding bids around that 600s. New hourly bar here coming in 3 minutes, folks. I hate it when I move something on NinjaTrader. It really bugs me. I move a chart and you move a line and then you don't know where it came from and there's no Control Z to go back. What a nightmare. I said, didn't even sweep down here. Didn't need to. Found bids. Back to VWAP we go. The chop continues. Again, it's trying to draw up towards that IB high, and through IB high, it has the chance to clean up some of the overnight action. Also has a failed auction potential at that IB high. It did, yeah, the blue line, yeah, cash open anchor VWAP. Well said, Coop, right here. Good eyes. So supporting bids there for now. Can use that as an over-under for sentiment in this session for sure. All the time we were under it this morning. Pops to fail. We should have put this on at the open, shouldn't we? Pops to fail. There's your pop to fail that we talked about when we were here. I was looking for that bear flag. Pop to fail, interview up, selling off, interview up, selling off, reclaimed it. All the time we're under this. Bearish, bearish. All the time we're over this. Bullish. There's your sentiment provider for the session. Peter Curry, time to go. See you all next week, spending Easter weekend in Orkney. Have a good time, Peter. Catch you on Monday. Let's go for a squeeze here. ES back towards VWAP. It's trying to push. It's trying to push here on the ES especially. It's trying to get that drive higher. Here's the new H1 opening candle for this H1. The new first five plus minutes on this H1 key. Do they come and take out liquidity at 667? So are they going for that IB high? Sure as hell looks like it, doesn't it? That's a decent shove there. ES back towards the highs. Can they get up to the IB highs? Question here. VIX breaking down. PDC now on the VIX. Divergence in the tape. We're above this, or we came very, very close to it on the ES. Think about how this H1 might respond here. If it can base here, it has a chance to come and clean out all the way. You know, if this really wants to get going, you can see it coming and cleaning out these levels into sort of 700, 716, 730. You can see it wanting to do it. It's just like, does it have the juice? Does it have the juice? Ay, ay, ay. Stuck between the two VWAPs right now. Still inside the initial balance. Still stuck between the VWAPs. Still at these very, very important key levels for sentiment for the day. Again, I'm not looking to action a trade here personally. Made my money early. So it's going to have to really, 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 really prove itself for me to want to get involved. VIX finding a bid there after closing its gap fully. Does it start to flush back down under the gap now or not? Fitch ratings just starting to come out here as well. World growth is projected to fall below 2% this year. Weakest since 2009. We all know what 2009 followed. US annual growth in 2025 is expected to remain at 1.2%, but will slow to a crawl through the year to just 0.4% year over year. China to fall below 4%. We still expect the Federal Reserve to wait until the fourth quarter before cutting rates, despite the growth outlook. Reading headlines here. The chop continues. Hopefully most of you made your money early. You can just let this do what it wants. Exactly, Claddin. Exactly what we always talk about. What are the zones we don't like seeing? We don't like it when VWAPs start doing this. We don't like it when flow zones start doing like this. We don't like it when the lower time frame algo and everything starts bunching up, do we? This is the chop. Let it get outside of this and prove itself to you. Do not get involved in this. This is very much like yesterday. When we start getting stuck, let's go back to yesterday. This yesterday? Yep, there's a gap down. When everything starts getting stuck. And once we get outside of it, we develop nice trend for a bit. Don't want to trade this when we go sideways. Talked about, we did a lesson yesterday on trending market versus sideways market. We are starting to get stuck here. It's starting to build liquidity here. The opportunity is for this or for this. So let everyone else get stuck and join once it's ready. Or leave it alone, come back tomorrow if you made your money. Where's my chart gone? There we go. Yeah, remember we've got power coming later as well. Market might just like, you know, really sort of slow right down until we hear what he's got to be said. Exactly, Aga. Don't become the liquidity. Let everyone else become the liquidity. We use the liquidity. You don't want to become it. It's looking more and more like a potential roll here. It all depends. We've got relative weakness in the Qs versus the ES. ES is still holding on pretty well. It all depends if they do a sweep now or if they start to dump. What's the highest time frame the flow zones work on? 4 hour. Actually, on the new ones, do they work on a daily? They will actually, on NinjaTrader, they work on any time frame. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. That's on a daily. On NinjaTrader, they will work on any time frame. But on the TradingView, they'll only work up to a 4 hour. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It's the coding. Still doing that dance. We have swept the liquidity. You can see underneath these lows. We just dunked underneath these lows. If they trade back inside, this is where breakout shorts can get stuck. If we stay heavy down here, if we build liquidity down here, that rotation becomes possible. If this is a sweep here and we trade back inside, breakout shorts will get stuck and they go back upside. Those are the two options. We talked about it the whole time. That level is massive here. If they hold this, if they sweep and hold this, they can use it to get up here. Remember, most traders are breakout traders. Breakout shorts probably piled in there a little bit early. What is the lowest time frame the indicator will work on? It'll probably work on any low time frame. Let's try 5 second. I don't know if it'll do 5 second. Too much maths for it by the looks of it. 30 second. It would definitely do a minute because we're on a minute. Maybe 1 minute. All it can do is 1 minute. What can I do on... Again, NinjaTrader will work on anything by the looks of it. As long as the data series is far enough back. Let me just check. One minute. Because it needs to do its calculation by minute bars, so that makes sense. All right, that might be the move it's looking for now. After sweeping, has it caught enough shorts adding in there for that move upside. Was that sweep of these lows enough to now force this move upside? Time will tell. Again, I'm not playing in this zone. I'm not interested in playing in this zone. Too choppy for me. I like directional markets. Been looking at the H1 on gold. Do you want me to have a look at it? Heavily extended here. I'll be waiting for a breakout retest, really. I'll be waiting for some form of pullback. Definitely not a buyer up here. These levels here look good. You've got imbalances underneath. You want it to hold that. Any break of this, we come and fill this and then can drift if it can't hold. Yeah, I mean, these levels here are key. Retest of this to go higher. Failure under this or build out here. You're opening up the gate for this move. How we out there is key. It's holding key levels though. It's showing a willingness to hold these key levels, but break down under here might get a bigger wash or a sweep and turn inside. But I mean, it's been here 3 times now. 1, 2, 3. So if next time down there, I wouldn't want to participate as a buyer, I don't think, on gold. All right, starting to look more and more like they're setting that trap to squeeze. Here goes ES. Yeah, still inside initial balance. Markets are inside of initial balance. We're not outside. This is what I'm saying. See money, take money environment. So far, basically, you have the orb down to here, and we're inside the orb. You failed the orb, held IB, traded to VWAP, up, held VWAP, up, back to VWAP, up, held VWAP. Up. Has this possible? Has this possible? No man's land here. Directional, it's like non-directional. It has to make its choice. Right now, I'd be saying the market wants to try and get up here. It's building this out to try and get that move. But if it can't get that move, then these buyers give up. This becomes possible. So the probable move is this. If it gets stuck under here, these guys become supply and this becomes possible. So breakout retest becomes possible down here. Remember, you're just in one of these. This is its target. And then if you look left, it has some liquidity that it wants to try and aim for it if it's going to run everyone out the market. Again, it's very, very tricky to be thinking about that in these areas. Probably the best buy was probably down here. That's probably the safest buy on the day. Little risk. You risk this. You're thinking about a long, buying in here, risking this low, looking for the initial balance. That's probably the best buy of the day. Again, you're subject to headlines all the time in this market. He's good, thanks, mate. Yeah, he's good. Thank you, buddy. He's good. Well, as far as I know. Whether they hide stuff from me is another thing, but he's good. Thanks, dude. Oh, it slowed right down, didn't it? Once we got to, almost an hour ago, just slowed right down in here. Glad we got those trades we did, folks. This is key to the market, is knowing when to just back off and leave it alone. Yes, back to view up again here. Market's still heavy. Market's still all red. There's no one leading the charge here to try and go upside. VIX trying to find a bid here on PDC. Back down to the bottom side of this range now it goes. Like I said, if these buyers start giving up, if they get stuck down here, or stuck up here, I should say, then we rotate back down towards Globex. That's what my worry would be if I was a buyer. If we don't get the job done, if I was a buyer and we're not getting the job done, I'd start to get concerned. Back towards the bottom side of this range, where it's found bids for the last 45 minutes or so. Just in chop here. This is the same. Nothing's changed in the same levels. 45 minutes till lunch. Nothing has changed here. It wants to drift back up to the IB high. Oh my God, my chest's so tight. If it can't get that drift up to IB high, buyers will get stuck. And we open the gate for that rotation lower. Right now, you're just at sort of 50% of that orb, and probably 50% of the initial balance, near enough. Maybe a bit higher, but nothing beautiful here telling me, hey, click a button, let's get involved. Every swipe down's getting bid back up. Every bid back up's finding sell pressure back down. And we're just trapped in between this kind of range here. I'd say the edge is really 652 down to 650 point range, back and forwards. Everything outside of this so far has failed. This is your range. Failed, back down. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should just spend the time sorting this sale out while we're on stream. Are any of you waiting for the Easter sale? Are any of you looking to join the Flow Zone team and do the course? If so, then maybe I'll set it up now rather than watch this garbage. Absolute garbage. Trying to find my sale image. Where's it gone? Have I lost it? The date, April. We'll do it until the 20th. All right, so I've reset that up for you. So if you type in Easter at the checkout, we'll get you that $100 off that we did last time. Oh, I still got uploaded. There we go. I'll have to change that date. But if you use that right now, let me change that. If you use that right now, that will get you $100 off. We're going to change it. It will be Monday the 20th. That's the old one, but it's the same thing. There you go, DK. You've got it. You've got it. Set it up for you now. A limited time, $100 off if you're interested in the Flow Zone course. Obviously, anyone who does that course right now will get access, early access at a discount for the Ninja Trader. Hey, Omalabi, thank you, buddy. All right, stuck between the VWAPs. Nothing's changed. Literally, absolutely nothing has changed here. These are the times where you've got to learn patience. Sit on your hands. All right, sit on your hands. So we always talk about it, don't we? When the opportunity's there, we take it. How many traders do you think missed these opportunities? There's your sell. There's a continuation. There's your cover. Then we go upside. I'm not interested in this right now. There are trades here for you guys. That was a good trade. Now you're waiting. But how many people do you think are buying this and getting stuck, and selling this and getting stuck, and buying this and getting stuck, and selling this, getting stuck? You've got an hour's worth of condensed price action there. It's not pretty. Do not get stuck, all right? You made your money early. Be happy with that. Be happy with that. Market's trying to squeeze. It wants to go. If it can get going, it really wants to go for that IB. It wants to use this sort of flag and liquidity to get up here and then start squeezing. The ES is having another go. ES new, I mean, not new high of day, but it's approaching its IB. Here's the squeeze, all right? It's looking better here for you. So if you're in this long, if you've been patient through all this and you were in long for these breaks, this might start working out for you. Liquidity here up at 75s. Very, very close, ES, to that 5-day. 5-day is right now, is at that IBH. So if you were patient enough for this, if you were one of the early bulls rather than getting chopped up on it, you might get your wish here. You might get your wish here for that IB high. Squeeze through IB high, then you've got H1 candles it can go and aim for. It is possible. It is possible. We talked about there's lots of liquidity here. If it gets through here, if it can base, it can keep going. $5,390, the higher for today. $5,390 is basically your IB high, mate. Just, you've got liquidity 92s and 96s. I'm talking about the ES right now, and 400s and 405s. Right, so if you can get through IB high and trigger a squeeze, it can go and swipe all those players out the market. Yeah, the candlesticks were in a range, starting to break out from it. It's taken a long, long time to do it. And these were the sweeps down here. And now you're going to see that aggressive drive through now, because now it's going to run all those stops that we talked about earlier. So you can think about all these stops over here. They are starting to get a little bit nervous right now. All right, these guys here, 713, 726, 761. 784, and then all the way up there if it really wants to get going. There's a big drive here. Look at the ATR starting to expand. Big drives. Can keep going here, folks. It can keep going. Remember, it's got lots of stops to aim for. Lots of shorts started piling in here, and they're getting caught, and now we're drifting upside. And we can go all the way to PDL and PDC if it wants to. Just remember that, if it wants to. VIX starting to trade downside here, starting to fade that PDC now. Nice feed on. Don't give any more back though, eh? If you've battled back and you've got flat or green or anywhere close to, just back off. Trump news here. Oh no, he's just reposting. Not seeing it, any news. I think it's just a drive higher and a sweep here. So next target on the ES will be 405s and then 413s, previous day low. And if it can get through that, it will try and close the gap. If big if buts and maybes, but those are the opportunities if it can get going here. You are in a squeeze higher here. All those shorts who piled in and getting forced to cover in this market right now as we start to drift higher. It's a big expansion. It's a 100-point move from that breakout right now. It's a big expansion. It can still go higher if it wants, but you're very, very extended right now. You do not want to be buying the tops here. You're very, very, very extended in this move. You can see it's starting to run this liquidity. Next level will be here if it can keep going. So if you're in this, you should be in with runners. You should have covered some here and some here and some here. And this should be runners for up to these levels, up to here. You can see all the liquidity, 63, 87, previous day low, Asia, Globex high. Through that, I mean, if it really wanted to get going, someone called it in chat earlier. They were looking for that move to 961. It's not out the question. I would say it's unlikely unless we get a news event, but it's not out the question, all right? Got long at 83s, sold into 91s. Lovely work, Foster Scott. Yeah, for me, I'd say the edge for the buys was once this sweat this and turned inside. That was probably a good move. Finally did it. They tried that attempt like so many times, finally had enough shorts caught. And this will keep going now until those shorts have all covered and they're all absolutely exhausted. You can see the volume increase here. This is shorts getting stopped out. Remember, how we act at IB now, or the breakout point, will be key. It can start to build momentum here. If it can start to build structures, nothing to say it can't go higher. You are just over half an hour left from lunch here, folks. Getting stuck at the higher time frame algo there on the ES for now. So they've rotated. Right now. They just did a move straight from lower time frame to higher time frame algo. This red line here, the equivalent of ES, went straight into it. Found some sellers up there. VIX trying to find a bid in front of 2950s. Sorry, 2930s. Then they build out more structure, or do they need to come deeper down and back test the levels? Remember, we broke out from all the way down here. IB is all the way here. They have the chance to do this if they're going to do it. Can build it shallow, but you'd expect something down here first, a bigger back test. But the only thing they might want to hold is these guys here. They can turn these into buyers. They can force that next little ripper up. I mean, look at the markets. Market's still red. Amazon finding a bit of a bid, but everything's still red. Tesla 1.31% down, Nvidia 6.27% down, Meta 1.80% down, Google over 0.5% down, Amazon 0.5% down, Microsoft 1.58% down, Apple 1.88% down. So market's still red. It's not like anything is leading the charge here in tech, going red to green, nothing like that yet. Just having a look at the book to see if there's anyone on it. No one really on it. So squeeze up. Remember, this is thin in this move. No structure. And when we say thin, no structure in it. Can come back down. Remember, we've got IB here. And you can trade all the way back down here if it really, 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 really wants to. You would definitely not want it to come back down into here now. You would definitely not want that. You would need, ideally, you want it to see protect some of these levels. This is a squeeze out, remember. Ran all the stops out of this market. Catch you tomorrow at 8. So back to that opening range high, to your initial balance high. If it lets go of this, it's likely to come all the way back to where it just came from, which is effectively VWAP. Yes, also back to that high. So if they let go of this, we can come all the way back. Remember, all we've done is run all the stops out of the market. That was its aim. It wanted to run these stops out of the market. The question is, does it find bids down here anywhere? If it doesn't find bids down here anywhere, then we probably go back into that chop zone. If we stay there too long, we probably go back towards low of day. Right now, it's holding or attempting to hold the initial balance and the flow zones, but it can drift lower here, folks. If it fails to create structure, it can absolutely drift lower here. We are very, very thin. Yes, also holding its IB for now. Holding flow zones, holding IB for now. You have to wait. Let it shake out, see what it wants to do if you're looking at playing this. Man, I'm worried about my chest. I feel like too many issues with my chest going on recently. I'm going to go for a run today, see if I can shake it out. So holding IB for now. Trying to find a bid off that IB. We did have a decent sell there. I'd say 700s are going to be key here. 700s will be key here. Reclaim 700s. Maybe has a shot back up towards high of day. If it keeps finding sellers around 700, then it might do that second leg back down towards VWAP. I'm not in this, just telling you what I'm seeing. Made my money already today. You got that squeeze out. You're getting a retracement. The question is, can they do sort of an inverted head and shoulder look or flag in here? If they cannot hold bids here around the IB, then it has a chance to move back down. All right, has a chance to move back down if they keep rejecting 700. So really, it needs to do something like this and reclaim to go versus this. If it fails here, it comes all the way back down to here. You can see it's clear level here. This here is possible. This here is possible. Momentum, upside. But you've taken out a lot of low-hanging fruit. Allergy season, yeah, it might be just that. Maybe that's what it is. Hopefully that's what it is and nothing else. Decision time then. Here's 700. It's trying to reclaim. Is there any juice left to go further up? You know, have they got a reason to go further up? There is liquidity if they want to go and take it. They've taken an awful lot out. They've taken an awful lot of liquidity out. Those swing or like position shorts who are in position from anywhere from, where have we taken out from? All the way from 6 a.m. this morning. Anyone who is short from 6 a.m. and after is now out of the money. They've taken them all out. And the question is, does it want to go and take out that pivot of 760 and then all the way back up to Globex? If not, it can just be this little squeeze out and we go back down towards VWAP. Yeah, 600, you're right, Raphael, 602 contracts down at 70. So down at 670. I would say they're probably spoofing. Nice, Aga, nice work. So finding sellers there. So far at 700. Your structure is still bullish, remember, but they are trying to protect that 700 now. Your structure remains bullish. Flow zones remain bullish. I wouldn't consider it anything other than just a breakout and liquidity sweep trend tree at that IB high. The break of structure was technically here. So there's your swing point down here. So we're technically bullish all the time. It's protecting this. For an auction, you need it to hold this. For a failed auction, it will get stuck here. But it's technically still bullish. You're getting fairly close to lunch now as well, folks. Just remember that. They're getting stuck at that 700. Those 700s and IB high are key. 700s and flow zone are key. That's what they're playing between. Correct, JJ. Yeah, it's just the extremes of the first hour. 9:30 to 10:30. Whatever your high and low is of that point, that's your IB high, IB low. Then you can think about auction and failed auctions over and under those levels. Remember, most of the time we've spent today been here. See, point of control right now down here. This was a squeeze out. We might come all the way back if they can't hold this, because there's no structure in there. It wasn't like we did this, was it? We just went, oh, straight up. So if it wants to do this straight back, it can. VIX trying to drive back up the back test its PDC right now. Yes, back to IB high. The big levels here in terms of sentiment for the rest of the day. Are we going to auction higher? Are we going back into that choppy range? You've got 20 minutes left, or 23 minutes left until this session is done. Gold, 90 bucks in one day, crazy. Yeah, almost 3% up on gold. Things flying. Yeah, you're right, Scott. It's 715. It just keeps failing. 715, 715, 700, 715. Protecting it, isn't it? Not for me, Andres. I don't think there's any change of character here. If you look at the swing low that produced that swing high, we haven't taken anything out. Stuck here at the IB high right now. Question is, does it finish a two-leg pullback and try and go higher, or is it just going to come all the way down to point of origin where we squeeze out from, which is effectively all the way down towards VWAP in here? Can fill right back into here if it wants. And you've got 20 minutes left on this hourly bar. It's Not super sexy right now, right? You've had your squeeze out. It's taken the liquidity it needed. It's now drifting back down inside the range. If they can do a sort of two-leg here and find buyers somewhere around here, they have that chance. But we just took so much low-hanging fruit. So much low-hanging fruit. If they trap enough buyers sort of here and here, they can come back for this. Like, I know it's gross, but it's possible if they really want to. I won't be around for that, though. There you go, drifting back. So giving back that squeeze right now. Giving back the squeeze for now. Failing that IB, failed auction. Where are we going? Back towards VWAP. Back towards point of origin. Back towards where we squeezed out from. Nothing more than a sweep of everything. VIX trading back upside, reclaiming PDC here. Very, very key levels on VIX. If it starts reclaiming PDC, it can trade all the way back up to IBL on the VIX. So just the inside range continues. We're still inside Globex, remember. Not once have we peaked outside of Globex. I'm watching this M5, M15, though, to see what they do here on a rebalance. Do they try and find a bid here or not? You imagine most of the traders sort of backed off now into lunch. Got the moves that they wanted today. They probably got the short. They probably forced that squeeze, and they're probably like, right, we're done. We're done for a bit. Let this market do what it wants into Jerome Powell. Remember, they might go risk off into Jerome Powell. They will not know what he's going to say, but I doubt it's going to be positive. Let's say that much. And he's, what, an hour away? Is he 1 o'clock, 1:30? Something like that. Relative weakness in the Qs as they trade back towards the VWAP right now. This is where we broke out from. ES not there yet. 1:30. Thank you, Miguel. So back towards the VWAP on the Qs. If they start letting go of this, we're going to build out that right shoulder. And if they do that, low of day is not out the question. It might seem ridiculous, but it's an if, but, and maybe. But if they do it, it's not out the question here. Imagine how many people chase that up and are getting liquidated now on the move back down. Intraday traders I'm talking about. VWAP tagged here. And if they keep moving lower, we go back into this sort of choppy range here. So a little bit of a bid off VWAP, not much. Yes, protecting where it broke out from. Yeah, almost going wick to wick there on the ES. 580s. Sorry, 580s, 380s, 5,380. Do they find any bounce here, any retracement in this market to go back upside? Do they go and test that initial balance again? VIX right at that PDC we talked about. Just interested how we react here into lunch. Wonder if they just go risk off into Jerome Powell. Wonder if that's the case. This is what it kind of feels like. Considering moving to futures from what? I don't know what you're currently trading. But yeah, I mean, futures are nice and liquid, easy to read. Can trade multiple times a day. But I don't know what you're trading. It's it will take a time to transition, for sure. Learning, I'd say, the temperament or the personality of each futures market. They're all slightly different, whether you like the faster moving liquidity grabbing markets like the NQ, like whether you want something a bit slower, more steady and trend based like the YM, or even the ES. Definitely worth giving it a go. I love trading futures intraday. I don't trade them in any swing positions. Trying to find a bid off VWAP here again, but look, you can just see the sellers coming in here so far. No squeeze relief to the upside. They had that one move and that was it. All the way back to point of origin right now. What? I'll just laugh at how this market's trying to move today. It's just stealing, grabbing, building liquidity, and then forcing people out, making them chase, dumping it back down, probably force people in short here at some point, give a cover rally pop too late, and then it will probably slam back down to lows. Something gross like that, probably highly likely from what I'm seeing right now. ES coming back down to its VWAP, QQQ at its VWAP. So back down to exactly where we came out of. ES finally trying to find a tiny bid there off the VWAP. I don't trust anything right now. It feels very much like we're going risk off into Powell. And we're, what, 15, 14 minutes away now. Not long away. Just going to use a bathroom here, folks. Please bear with me a second. All right, you can see sentiment, major sentiment shift here. Cleaned out those guys at the shorts, and then we've just started drifting lower now. Big sentiment shift. So I wonder if they drive a little pop up here and then start to find some failures in towards lunch and for this afternoon session. That would not surprise me in the slightest to see something like that start to happen here. We've definitely gone risk off into Jerome Powell. It's 100% what's happened. We've swept all the stops. The low-hanging fruit liquidity has been taken, and we're starting to drive back down. We're at point of origin. It would not surprise me at all to see this completely fail today. We've got a buyer on the book here at 500. Let's see if he's legit, because everything so far this morning has been spoof central. Back down towards these VWAPs. So all of this was squeeze, clear out, fail back down, and now we have to wait and see again. Do they do this again and then this? But literally zero bids on this move downside, apart from this 500 lot, who I don't think is real. I think he's lying down here, but let's see. Didn't even fill him yet. And he's going to pull. You know he's going to pull the moment it gets close to him, like he's done all morning. And on to lunch, 10 minutes. I'm getting hungry. That's what I'm saying, Raphael. I don't think he's legit. Let's see. They're covering in front of him. I don't think he got filled. Still there. Reaction off VWAP now. Do they get that drift upside and then start selling into it, into power? That's what I'm wondering. Do they get a pop upside and start selling into it? That's awesome, Trentry. Happy days. Glad it's coming together. Just takes a bit of time. It will come together, though. ES back to VWAP here. Market's going risk off before lunch, before power. That's what it feels like to me. Lots of liquidity down here. It can clean up if it wants to go downside. Remember, Globex low is not out the question. If they trap enough people here, it is not out the question. We go sideways. They can rotate all the way back to here if they really want to. New York Open also key. How much of a big bounce do they do here? That's what you need to be asking. Do they do a big bounce and then sell into it? Or do we just go sideways for another hour like we did earlier? We went sideways here earlier for an hour. Can easily just go back into this range. Very, very possible. Yes, trying to find a bid on its VWAP for now. If they're going to wash, they can go down 92s and that New York Open basically at 80s. And then, you know, who knows beyond that? Do they go back down to Globex? It looks like we're going very, very risk off here before Powell. Imagine they start dumping this back down and take that Globex low, which we protected by. How much did we protect it by earlier? Like a couple points. We cut down to lows of 8s and it's at 04s. That'd be funny. It'd make me laugh. Lunch coming up here, folks. Hopefully you've had a good winning day. Do not get trapped in this chop zone again, please. Talked about it earlier. Do not become the liquidity here. It's done a big squeeze up. It's done a big fail back down to point of origin from that squeeze. If it gives a decent bounce here and you see sellers step in, you might get that rotation back lower. It can also go all the way back up. It's showing a propensity right now to just trade level to level, just wash everyone out and then do the move. Wash everyone out, then do the next move. Like, so do not become the liquidity. Please do not become the liquidity today. You're going to have to be patient if you're even considering trading this afternoon. Remember, you got Powell coming in 37 minutes. 2 questions. Once I parts the pro account and take profit trader, there's no monthly payment activation fee. Is it possible to copy trade? Yes. So there's no monthly payment, there's no activation fee, and you can copy those 5 accounts together. Absolutely. Absolutely right. So ES rejecting VWAP there. This feels like it needs a drive higher to go lower, in my opinion. And then I don't think Globex is out of the question if they're really looking to sell this. Definitely lows at 91s. And then that New York level. And then I really think if they're going to get really nasty, they're going to go back for Globex, which is just like, it just makes me laugh, man, how they operate, leaving it by a tick or two to come back for later in the day. So squeeze out to go risk off into Powell. That's 600 sort of key here. cleaning up some of that trend line liquidity on the ES. Hardest thing right now for a short is we're just drifting lower. Like, unless you got short really, really high when we're still holding a position, there's nothing to really attack. 20-year bond auction at 1. That might explain also why everyone's going risk off, is that bond auction. Yeah. If we get stuck here, I really think this is possible. If we do something like this, this is possible. VIX getting going now. Reclaimed its initial balance. It is getting going. Oh, when did my coffee get so cold? Gross. So it needs to pop up. Look how strong this is. You need some form of liquidity if you're thinking about this short. You need something to get short into. You cannot just short these lows. There's nothing here to play off. Totally, yeah, totally what we talked about earlier, 100%. Back inside the opening range. Back doing that dance around the VWAPs. Back being disgusting. This is how I like to talk about back being gross. In the gross levels. I want to see if like ES or something back test towards VWAP and find sellers there. And I really don't really want to trade into lunch, so I'm just probably going to watch it. I'm just interested. How can I see this week going? There's only 1 day left, so I really don't know. There's just an inside the previous week's range, I think. I don't think anything more than that, unless news changes narrative. I don't think we expand last week's range at all. I don't think we get through the last week's highs, and I don't think we get through the previous week's lows either. So I just think we sort of create some more liquidity for the next few weeks' time. Every pop here. No drive. No drive. All right, folks. That's me done. Into lunch. Gonna sign off here. Please be careful if you're trading into lunch. Like we said, we've got Jerome Powell coming. You've got bond auctions. We're still inside the IB. We're still inside the orb. I would not be surprised for this to go back down towards those Globex lows. Please be smart. Please be sensible. We made our money early today. Have a really great day, team. Those in Discord, I'll pop in later. But there's nothing here making me really want to trade it. So I'll probably set price alerts, high day, lower day, and probably leave it at that, and we'll see what we get. Big love, everybody. Please trade safe. Please use hard stops. Remember, one headline right now will shake this market. Please use hard stops. Peace and love. Use hard stops. See you tomorrow.